In Africa, there's this economic engine. It's huge, employing hundreds of millions of people. But here's the crazy part. It's almost completely invisible. So today, we're diving into a new model that's trying to bring it into the light, and in the process, flip decades of development theory right on its head.
Okay, just look at this number, 95%. That's not a small figure, right? Well, that's the slice of Africa's massive service economy that's totally informal. We're talking about a colossal economic engine, just chugging along completely in the dark, totally off the books for official stats and planners.
And that invisibility, well, that creates a huge problem. We're calling it Africa's economic blind spot. I mean, think about it. This massive, unmapped economy, it's a giant challenge for anyone trying to build a better future. So what does this actually feel like on the ground? Okay, so here's the reality check. Over 94% of all businesses are small and medium-sized. But, and this is the kicker, most of them are basically ghosts in the system. No digital footprint, not on any map. And you can imagine the domino effect, right? For local governments, it means they can't collect the taxes they need to fund public projects. For planners, it's like trying to fly a plane with no instruments. And for the entrepreneurs themselves, they're locked out of getting loans to grow their business because, on paper, they just don't exist. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? A municipality that does not know its economic actors cannot develop. It's so simple, but so true. It's a fundamental roadblock that's been stalling progress for ages. But here's the question. What if the solution isn't to just look harder from the top down, but to start seeing things from the bottom up? And that leads us to this radical idea, flipping the whole development model on its head. Instead of these grand plans coming down from the state level, what if we started from the ground? From the bottom up, right there in the community.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at the difference. The old way, the top-down model, was so often disconnected from what was actually happening. It completely missed the informal sector. But this new bottom-up approach, it starts right at the municipal level. It's built on real data from the field, and its whole goal is to include everyone. It's a complete change in thinking.
So what's driving this new model? It's a concept called territorial intelligence. Now, that might sound a little academic, but the idea is actually super simple. It's all about using technology to gather data directly from local businesses and people on the ground. This lets you really understand a place's unique DNA, its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. And then you can build development plans that are actually tailored to what it needs.
And this quote just beautifully sums up the whole philosophy. If the base is not solid, the top cannot hold sustainably. It's so intuitive, right? You can't build a strong, successful country on a shaky foundation of disconnected towns and cities. You've got to build that solid base first, and then everything else can grow from there.
Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But how does it actually work? Well, it's powered by a 4-part digital toolkit designed to make this whole bottom-up vision a reality. First up, we have geo-track data. The best way to think about this is like giving eyes to the municipality. I mean, for the very first time, local governments can literally map and pinpoint every single business in their area, whether it's formal or informal. It takes them from flying blind to being truly intelligent, making decisions based on what's really there. Next is the Zena app, and this one is all about empowering the entrepreneurs. It gives them a professional digital identity, simple tools for accounting, and even access to a marketplace. But the real game changer? By creating a digital track record of their business, it makes them bankable. It unlocks that access to credit they've desperately needed to grow. Third, we've got Smart Agri 2.0, which focuses on the agricultural sector, which is, of course, vital. By using tech to map out farmland, it allows for things like smart irrigation and real-time monitoring. The result is simple but incredibly powerful. You get more food, less waste, and, most importantly, better incomes for rural farmers. And finally, the fourth tool, eGOCS, is what ties it all together. It digitizes the collection of local taxes using secure mobile payments. This is huge because it brings transparency, cuts down on corruption, and massively increases the money coming into the municipality. The actual funds needed to build new roads, schools, and hospitals. So we've got these 4 tools. But their real power, the magic, is how their impact scales up. It's not just about improving one community. It's about building this pyramid of impact that goes all the way up to the state level. Right at the bottom of the pyramid, the base, the impact is immediate and tangible. Tax money goes up, city planning gets a whole lot smarter, and local entrepreneurs can finally get the loans they need. This is the foundation for a modern, thriving community.
Then we move up a level. As more and more municipalities get on board, their data gets pooled together at the department level. This means you can launch bigger, more coordinated programs for things like agriculture or job training, creating this ripple effect of growth across the whole area.
Now we're at the regional level, and the impact gets even more strategic. Planners can finally see the whole economic picture. They can make sure that big infrastructure projects, like highways or power grids, are built where they're actually needed. And you know what that does? It makes the whole region way more attractive for new investment. And finally, we reach the top of the pyramid, the state. A country built on these strong foundations now has the one thing it's always been missing: a reliable, solid base of statistics for making national decisions. It can build strategies based on real, local data, not just guesswork. This quote just captures that scaling effect perfectly. A few municipalities transform a department. Several departments transform a region. A model region transforms the state. It's an organic growth model. Strong communities build strong regions, and strong regions build a strong, high-performing, modern state. It just makes sense. But look, this is about more than just a clever tech fix for local government. This whole Pulsar vision, this bottom-up model, it plugs directly into the continent's biggest, most ambitious goals for the future. And you can see here just how neatly this all aligns with the African Union's Agenda 2063. When the agenda calls for inclusive economic development, well, that's the Zena app bringing small businesses into the fold. When it talks about modernizing agriculture, that's Smart Agri 2.0. Transparent governance, that's EGOX. This isn't just another project. It's literally a practical toolkit for making that shared continental vision a reality. So it leaves us with this really powerful thought to end on. For decades, right, the world has tried to build a better future with these huge top-down plans. But what if real, lasting change looks totally different? What if the future of an entire continent could be built from the ground up, one smart community, one smart municipality at a time?